Wagwan, it's your humble host, Big Truck. Shout out to my main man, Ask a Brother Podcast. He's doing amazing things. Go to the King's channel, show him some love. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. With that being said, conversation and reviews. He has some things to say. I have some things to say. And then the spirit of the universe is going to take us home. So grab a shoulder pads and your helmet, and let's get this work. Let's go.
None other than Mr. Paul Elam. What's going on, good sir?
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah. Yep. Listen, man, we had to get the three horns out the way because you are one of my bigger guests coming through, man. So it's an honor to have you come through, man.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Jeff.
Yeah. And shout out to Anya, man. Anya was a mutual contact, and she set this up. So kudos. And if you guys haven't checked out Anya's work on Instagram and on YouTube as well, guys, and her Substack as well, she definitely is based. She's with it, and I've already interviewed her for my platform, so feel free to support her. But hey, man, welcome to the show, bro.
Glad to be here.
So for starters, why don't we start with your background and what made you transition into getting into content creation, as well as discussing men's rights and issues, and also what was your red pill moment?
Well, definitely, I'll start with the red pill moment. It's absolutely the moment that I read Warren Farrell's Myth of Male Power in 1993. I had been working in chemical dependency treatment for a long time. I had noticed that something was amiss in the difference in the way we treated men and women, but it was nothing I could put my finger on. And a friend of mine, a female, by the way, a therapist, told me about this book coming out, and I went and got it. And it literally changed my life. Everything that I couldn't put my finger on in the past, outlined, laid it out, made sense to me. And I was, in a way, doing content creation from that moment. I started writing letters to the editor. Some of them got published. Most of them did not. But I was trying to speak up about that. And an event led to that. It was after I read this book, I came into the facility that I worked in, and we had regular staff meetings. And I just posed a simple question to about 12 of my team members. That why was it, I asked, that with every new client that came into the facility, we assessed whether men had perpetrated domestic violence, if they had a history of being violent with the women in their lives. We assessed women for whether or not they had ever been victims of domestic violence, but we didn't ask the reverse question to either sex. So I came into a meeting and I said, I'm just curious about this, because what I had done in the meantime is I talked to a few of my clients, and like the third guy I talked to said, oh yeah, I was passed out on the couch one night and she slammed me on the head with a fireplace poker, got 12 stitches in my head. And nobody had ever asked him about this. So sort of motivated by that, I came into this meeting and just asked the group, why are we doing it this way? Why aren't we asking men if they've been victims or women if they've been perpetrators? And the immediate hostile reaction to even posing that question, I mean, if looks can kill.
I can attest and agree. It's almost like what happens to men doesn't matter. You have a large number of men that get assaulted. They get raped. Doesn't even get reported. Does not get talked about. And if it does get mentioned, those men are quickly bashed, quickly disrespected, quickly gets flame thrown on them.
I would have been dead 12 times because that room full of men and women looked at me like I had just, killed their puppy. And I knew something at that point. It was almost like I had an epiphany. This is what I'm going to do with my life. This is a real problem, and I'm going to start doing something with it. So I started firing off letters.
Just like what I went through in my 14th month marriage, how I was treated. Okay. And the light bulb came on, especially when I went back and I confronted my past. It goes back to, man, I've been carrying things. Man, it doesn't hurt so bad when you go back and confront your past and heal from it and do the work. You see, a better version of yourself will be seen by many. But it really goes back to, there's a lot of hurt men out there. There's a lot of broken men out there. I know what it's like to be hurt. I know what it's like to be broken. I know what it's like to fight for your marriage and still get treated like trash. Well, guess what? Enough is enough. I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to remind men of who they are. You were born a king. Rise, king. Be the best version of yourself.
I contacted the people I could. Of course, this was pre-internet, actually. I mean, I think the internet existed, but not in any meaningful way. And eventually the online happened, and I got into the old Usenet news groups back in the day, and there were small gatherings of men talking, and it sort of found a home, and it built from there. And later on, I started a Voice for Men, started writing a lot, and getting attacked a lot. So again, it was just like I was right back in that staff meeting.
Let me highlight something. Anytime you start a men's movement, you're going to get attacked by feminist women. They will come, they will attack, they will come with their videos. They will come with any and every type of emotion, because it's keeping positive energy for men, putting men up on game, sharing your testimonies, motivating men to become better, better, and better. See, this is what modern women don't like. And anytime something positive is shared about what men do, when the men come from a logic standpoint at something, they get shamed. Even women of good character standing by those good men. And you got modern women coming for them. Deep game.
I started putting this stuff out to the world, but that's what got me started. That was my red pill moment.
I appreciate that. I've also experienced that on the mental health side, where when I've raised, discrepancies, double standards, and even heard other fellow therapists and psychologists make certain concerning semi-sexist statements. And then when I would kind of try to reverse it, you would see this visceral reaction. And I'm like, oh, so it's normalized. Like this is standard. And it takes a while for you to realize that there's something more than just it's happening on a one-by-one, but like this is a cultural, societal issue.
Not just a cultural, but there's an agenda behind it. You see? Because anytime a man steps up and says something realistic and positive, look how quickly he gets shamed or try to get shut down. When it comes to a masculine man, modern women don't like it when a masculine man takes his role, takes his place, lets his soul speak, and comes at something at an angle that they can't even identify.
Some of the most common problems with men that you have come across interacting with hundreds, if not thousands of men up to this point?
Man, there's a lot of answers to that question. We can take the superficial aspect and say, well, problems are parental alienation, ruinous divorce settlements, false accusations, paternity fraud. We go right down the list. These are the problems that are plaguing men's lives.
Yeah.
But I end up digging a little bit deeper than that, looking past the superficial problem. Like years of treating alcoholism, you learn to look past the drinking itself and what's going on here with this person that's causing this.
Yeah.
Well, what I find with men is that they are so conditioned to pretty much self-delete when it comes to women. They lower themselves, they struggle, and they work hard. How do I make her happy? I work harder, I do what I do. And it's all about serving women. And it's an ethic that's been handed down for several generations now, actually not as far back as most people think. Most people think this sort of romantic chivalry model has been with us as long as man has.
It's like, it doesn't matter what you do, you can never satisfy or make an individual happy. You see? And there's many challenges to face regarding that. What do you do when you've done all that you could do? Can you really make someone happy? Or do you have individuals that take certain things for granted? Let me know in the comments of what you think.
Existed, and it hasn't. It's only been there in our culture for about 200 years. And men are trained that they don't matter, that in the end, their job is to sacrifice, their job is to provide no matter what the cost, and they're trained not to be discerning about women. In all the men that I talk to, and I mean thousands of them, over 40 years of working, I could trace back men's lack of boundaries and lack of standards, not being discerning with women, ignoring red flags. And, it's sort of like you talked about this as a cultural issue. Women aren't even conditioned to hide the red flags. They're conditioned to advertise them.
And they do it. They do it so freely. And what do men do? They ignore it. Some of them can be turned on so much by looks that they forget to pay attention to those red flags. It's almost like they know, and those red flags are being done and shown right in front of your face. And they know you're not going to catch it. They know you're not going to pay attention.
Put them out there. Yeah, I want 6-figure income. I want this. And yes, my last boyfriend was a jerk and he abused me. And the guy before that, my father, was terrible. And guys hear this stuff. And instead of saying, this may not be somebody I want to become legal and financially vulnerable to, they say, I'll take care of you, darling. You can count on me.
That's what the simps do. Simps do that. Now, men are getting tired of getting burned. They're getting tired of getting done greasy. Now they use wisdom and discernment.
And then, of course, a few years later, they end up talking to me because their life gets ripped apart. And they don't understand what happened. But it started with a single-minded obsession on gaining the approval and affection of women. And that is a dead-end road, as we see in 2026. It wasn't really smart in 1956, but in 2026, it's asking for serious life consequences.
You set a bar just now where you said that men are trained to not be discerning of women and their red flags and their nature. And we're so conditioned to it, even with me engaging in this space and seeing whenever we highlight what those red flags are, you see the vitriol. You see like, you can't do because of that. You can't say that. And I'm like, that's exactly what you're talking about. We're conditioned to not even be able to accept the possibility that there's things that will disqualify women. And women's
we're conditioned to not even think about the possibility that there are red flags. We literally reject that out of hand and wipe out anything that is an obstacle to getting her approval.